What's up, Broncos country? Welcome back inside the Centura Health Training Center for another episode of Broncos Now. As always, I'm your host, Sydney Jones, and coming up on today's episode, the team announced their training camp dates. We'll take a look at the schedule and what practices are open to the fans. All that and more coming up. The Denver Broncos have announced their 2023 training camp schedule. This year, there will be 12 practices open to the public starting on July 28th here at the Centura Health Training Center. Let's take a look at this year's schedule. Like I mentioned, Friday, July 28th will be the first practice this year. And then Saturday will kick off Back Together Weekend, previously known as Back Together Saturday. That will be July 29th. And then the next open practice will be Monday, July 31st, Tuesday, August 1st, Wednesday, August 2nd. Skip ahead to Friday, August 4th, Saturday, August 5th, Tuesday, August 8th, Wednesday, August 9th, Tuesday, August 15th, Wednesday, August 16th, and the final practice of training camp will be Thursday, August 17th. And new to training camp this year, all practices will require a ticket for entry. All tickets are free, and guests can claim up to 4 of them per account. Fans can claim these tickets on Ticketmaster starting this Wednesday, June 28th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Now joining me here inside the Broncos podcast studio is Broncos lead writer Eric Dalala. Eric, thanks for joining the show today.
You got it said a little earlier this week, huh?
Yep, a little earlier. That's because we have some exciting news for Broncos fans. The team, of course, released this year's training camp dates, and there will be 12 open practices this year.
Yeah, exciting. First time to see what this is all going to look like under Sean Payton. Obviously, there's been some media availability. We've had a chance, you and I, to watch some open OTA and mini camp practices. So we've seen a little bit, but I think I've been very eager at least to see them put the pads on and see what it all looks like coming together. And this is a chance for fans to come out and see this team, 12 different opportunities, pretty much on par with what the team's offered the last few years. Still one of the better teams around the league in terms of open training camp practices. It'll be down here at Centura Health Training Center, and just a few weeks away now. It's hard to believe that
crazy.
We're going to be in July before you know it here, and then training camp will be on the horizon.
Yep. Well, it was also released that Back Together Weekend will be Saturday, July 29th. I know that's a really fun league-wide initiative where kind of kicks off the start of football. Football is back.
Exactly. Yeah. That first Saturday there, it's exciting. You know, the Broncos have done a good job the last couple of years with this Back Together Saturday, now Back Together Weekend, with a lot of different activities for people. Still kind of TBD on what all of that's going to look like, but definitely, one of the prime dates you'd think to come out here and watch. So you definitely want to get your tickets early, come out here with the family, come watch these guys. As always, there's the opportunity for autographs, no guarantees or anything, but the guys still do sign, and that's, I know, exciting for people. Especially if you don't have a chance to go see a game, or maybe you're planning a summer vacation out here and you pair it up with a training camp opportunity. Back Together Saturday will be one of those days, but plenty of other options too if you're not able to get a ticket for that, because that is one of the new things.
Yep, I was going to ask you about that, Eric. That's the biggest change this year for training camp. You will need a ticket for entry, and there is capacity limit as well.
Yeah, that's right. Arapahoe County regulations are going to limit it to about 3,000 people, and so you're going to need a ticket to get in, and it's not going to cost you anything. It's free, but you do have to go on, get a ticket. You're limited each account to 4 tickets per practice. So you can still, if you can get those tickets, you can come to as many days as you want, but you need those tickets in order to get here. Should also note, Sid, that parking is going to be limited due to just kind of the lack of it around the building right now. And so, consider rideshare or get here early. It's a first come, first serve sort of situation. So people will need to figure that out. But again, an opportunity to come out and watch the team. Yeah, still free, which I think is great.
Definitely.
And we're talking about this on a Tuesday, and these tickets are going to go not on sale, but they're going to become available Wednesday morning. So quick turnaround here. Be ready.
Definitely.
Get in the queue and get those tickets.
Yeah, Back Together Saturday tickets will probably go really fast because that's always the funnest practice of the year.
I would think so.
Yeah, so make sure to be on the lookout for that, Broncos country. Eric, like you've mentioned, we're only a couple weeks out now from training camp, really just a month away. So you kind of touched on this, but what are you most looking forward to with training camp starting?
Yeah, I mean, that first Friday, that first practice a little bit later than normal, but going to be excited to see the guys get out there and what does this all look like? I don't think we really know, to be honest. Like I said before, we've seen how Sean Payton runs some of these OTA and mini camp practices. My guess, based on watching those, is it's going to be intense. They're going to work. It's going to be fun for the fans to watch the one-on-ones, the 7-on-7, things that you didn't really see last year. And last year, too, I mean, unless you came on the right day, you weren't seeing kind of the full speed 11-on-11 work either. And so certainly there's going to be more of that this year. There's still the acclimation period where you've got to ramp up to full pads, but they'll certainly be in that kind of by later that weekend, early that first full week. And so chances to just see what this team is all about. And things didn't go well last year, and we've talked again and again about dirt on a lot of people's hands. Well, this is kind of the official fresh start, and hope springs eternal. Everybody's 0-0. You've got a chance. You host the Raiders week 1, and that's got to be the mindset of beating those guys. All the work you do in August is what's going to decide what happens that day in early September. And Sid, preseason games, we'll see guys playing. I mean, it's just going to be very different. And I think you're going to feel the intensity and all that. I mean, they were
a good different.
Very much so. I mean, you saw them getting a little chippy. I think it was a mini camp practice where a little dust up. If that's the case in mini camp with how hard these guys are working,
absolutely,
it's going to be intense. And so I'm excited to see how that plays out. Excited for fans to get a chance to see what Sean Payton and this team is all about.
Absolutely. And Eric, before we go, I know we're still a little ways away, but are there any position groups that you're looking at closely for training camp? Any position battles type of thing? Yeah,
I mean, one, just what does this offensive line look like? Because that was the focus during the offseason, right? We heard the extreme home makeover line from Sean Payton, and we've heard these guys talk about, how good these guys can be up front. Mike McGlinchey, Ben Powers, the return of Garrett Bowles. But we haven't really seen it yet because it's difficult when they don't have pads on. So what do these guys look like when they've got those shoulder pads on and they got the big cleats on and the thigh pads, and it's Mike McGlinchey going against Zach Allen, and what does that look like? I'm excited for that. And then this wide receiver room, Sid, is just super, super deep. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, Marvin Mims. It goes on and on. Marquez Callaway. Well, Jordan Humphrey, and then you've got some guys from last year, Jalen Virgil, Brandon Johnson, our guy Kendall Hinton. I mean, just so many guys
in that
at that spot, Montreal, Washington. So lots and lots of guys there. It's going to be hard to make the roster at that position. You're going to have to really stand out during training camp, during the preseason. I think you're going to have to block. These guys, it's not going to be enough just to catch the football, I'd imagine. So really excited to see that. And then just last thing is kind of how do some of the injured guys do coming back? Javonte Williams, what's his status as we go in there? Tim Patrick, how does he kind of return? Do some of these other guys that are coming back from injury, knock on wood, do we stay healthy? All those sorts of things are what can impact the season. And, you just, with the way the offense played last year, you just hope to see some flashes that it's going to be better. And it might not be, it might not be the second-ranked offense immediately, but I think there should be some immediate improvement, and I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Yep, it's an exciting time of year.
It is.
Yep. Brand new optimism.
We're going to stand out there. We're going to get a little tan, get some sun.
Probably get some sunburn.
Nice. Probably.
Well, Eric, looking forward to it. Appreciate you coming on this week.
You got it, Sid.
Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Broncos Now, Broncos Country. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to stay up to date on the latest episodes by following Broncos Studio on Twitter and the Denver Broncos YouTube channel. I will see you all next time.